Hello everyone, welcome to Thrifting After Work. My name is David and this channel follows my part-time eBay reselling hobby. And in today's video, I got a couple different things for you. We're gonna go on a thrifting trip, and then I do have something that's a little bit embarrassing that I'm gonna share with everybody. Stick around. But before we start, if you could do me a really big favor, right below here is a like button. If you could drop a like on the video, it would mean the world to me. It helps share my content with others. It lets YouTube know that everything over here is going okay, and it would really mean a lot. Also, if this is the first time you're checking out my channel, thank you so much for coming to watch my video. If you enjoy the content, right over here is the subscribe button. That would mean a world to me as well. If you're one of my regular viewers, thanks again for coming to watch another video. All right, so today I did a little bit of thrifting after work. I found myself in a different part of town, so I checked out a Goodwill over there. Didn't find a crazy amount, but I found one really cool find that you'll see. All right, so this is a new Goodwill for me, so I got to start at the shoes. And I was a little disappointed. They had a big shoe wall here, and about 3/4 of it was empty. Starting out with these Asics here, I almost fell into the trap because they are my size, and they were just a little bit too worn, so I did pass on those. And as you can see, like I said, a lot of gaps here. Not too many great shoes. These Adidas had some potential, but I ended up putting them back. They just didn't leave enough for me to feel like that they were a desirable enough shoe. And going up and down, I do spot something over here. I'll check it out in just a second, those toe shoes at the end, but I just want to make sure I'm scanning everything to see what I can get. And I pick up these toe shoes. They have an okay tread on them, just the color's not the greatest. I've sold Vibrams in the past, even for big money, but these are just the basic ones. And at $12.99, there wasn't enough profit for me to make on these shoes. So I end up leaving them behind. Now heading down to the jeans aisle, I do spot a great pair of jeans to start off, and I should have taken a little bit of better look because they were missing the back buttons, but a lot of pants like this, people like to display the back flaps anyway, so Affliction jeans have always sold really well for me, and these ones were a great price, half off for $9.99, so only $5 on these. And then going down the jeans aisle, there was a lot of great looking jeans, multiple pairs of True Religions. This one, even in the shape that it was still priced at $19.99. They had a lot of their red tag jeans. So somebody was going through and taking a look at the designer brands. These ones also $20 for a pair of Diesel jeans, which are really good jeans. Another pair of True Religions here, and I see the red tag, again, $20. These will sell of upwards of 30 or 40, but for $20, there's just not enough meat on the bone. Still another pair of $20 Diesels, and nothing really else in the jeans aisle that looked that great. Still some high price, some $14.99s here for a pair of Lucky Brand. Lucky Brand doesn't even sell that well, so those ones are definitely staying behind, and I'm pretty much going to walk out here with just the one pair of jeans. Again, another $19.99 pair. So the one pair for $5, which is actually a higher price, was good. And then at the back of the store, I find this really cool Victorian style chair here. I'm always on the lookout for Victorian furniture, more so for personal use, but this one really stuck out for me, and upon inspection, it is a Kimball chair, and I'll tell you more about those in a second. They are a really good brand, and this chair is worth about 10 times what it was marked for. All right, and we are back, and as you can see, this was my really awesome find. This is a Kimball chair. It is from 1988 that I dated it at. It's a company who does Victorian style reproductions, and I'm gonna put some sold comps up here. Very valuable chair, probably in the $300 to $500 range. I paid $40 for it, but this is not going anywhere. This is gonna be a personal pickup. My wife and I, we love this kind of Victorian style. I even like the color. Everything's really cool about it. So while I could, flip this item for a decent profit, it's gonna stick around for a while. All right, and the other couple items that we picked up at that store, the first one, this one's really plain, but it's okay. It's just a blank. It's a blank vintage Gap shirt with pocket, kind of a mustard color, size XL. I paid $2.99 for it. It's probably worth about $15 to $20, but still a good pickup. Truly vintage, single stitch all the way around. So even these plain shirts, just the fact that they are vintage shirts, will usually sell decently. All right, and the next item I picked up is this pair of Affliction jeans. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see it there, but you can see it kind of on the tag right here. I've sold Affliction jeans multiple times in the past. They usually sell really well. These ones were priced at $9.99, which I would have actually been okay paying. That's about the average for jeans in my area. But it was half off. All gray tags were half off today, so I only paid $5 for them. They are a little worn, and they are missing the back buttons here on the flaps. So a little bit of a disappointment there. Probably will still sell for about, even with that, probably about $25 to $30. So we'll at least, make a decent profit on these as well. All right, so as much as I like that chair, not the best for videos. So we're here. We got past all that stuff. So what is that embarrassing thing that I was talking about earlier? And that embarrassing thing, it's really not embarrassing. It's just, something I wanted to say, but it is something that has kind of made me reflect and think about things this week. So as of recording this, which was on March 2nd, I haven't sold anything on eBay since February 22nd. So a full week of 0 sales. Now for me, that's well below average. I don't have a crazy big inventory, but I usually sell one item about every day or every other day. So going 7 days with no sales is pretty rare. Now I do want to put a caveat on this, because from talking with other resellers and, being active in the community, I have found out, and I've noticed it a little bit myself, is that eBay is doing some upgrading and there are some glitches going on in their system. If you're a reseller as well, you might have noticed some things popping up for some required categories in your descriptions. That's throwing off a few things. Now, I can't just say, okay, well, it's eBay's fault, so nothing's wrong. So what I did is I reflected back on it, and that's what I wanted to talk about today, and hence the title of the video. I don't have anything to do what sold on eBay, so I'm going to talk about what isn't selling. I'm going to go back and look at my oldest items and talk through real quick on either why I think they're not selling, whether they were a good buy or not, and we'll see. Okay, so this first item is kind of a throwaway. Right here, it's a McDonald's toy bumblebee mask. This is something I already had in my house that my kids don't play with anymore. So essentially it cost me nothing. It's been sitting there for a while. I actually had 2 and one sold pretty quickly, but this one's been sitting since October. So it's not a very desirable item, and I'm actually pretty surprised that that other one sold as well. Again, not a lot of profit on here. I might make $3 on this item if it ever does sell, but that's the reason that this one's not selling. And that's the oldest item that's in my inventory currently. The second oldest item is this pair of Fluvog shoes. So if you don't know who John Fluvog is, he makes really, really amazing and unique leather shoes. These are no exception. However, this is a little bit of a less desirable design. They're just kind of regular loafers. They say Fluvog across the top, and they're a little bit worn. So may or may not have been the best pickup here. Again, this is another item where I had 2 of. I had the same pair in black and brown. The black actually sold twice. First one sold, they returned it because it didn't fit. Second one sold, buyer was very happy. Now the brown ones have been sitting since October. The price has been lowered and lowered and lowered, and as of recording this video, I just dropped the price again to $40, hoping that somebody will pick these up. I did pay $14.99 for these. Again, knowing the brand and having heard of the brand, I knew it would be a good buy, but that was a little bit arrogant on my part. And that's one of the reasons I kind of want to go back and reflect and talk about these, is that the biggest thing that I should have done with this is really look up the sold comps and try to find how this exact shoe was selling. Not just what my opinion is of the brand, or even if the brand is selling. Look at the exact item, because if I had looked these up, I might not have made that investment. Moving on, we have this lot of HP ink. Ink usually does sell really well, and again, using my feelings about that, I purchased all of these for $1 each. Guessing I would get, maybe even upwards of $20 to $30 for them. Now, what should I have done? I should have looked up the sold comps because I just went off ink sells well. These are very cheap. When I got them home and looked them up, I realized that it is not a desirable set of ink. They don't sell very well, and they've been sitting at this price since November. So again, for me, already this is kind of, at least for those last two, chalking up to verifying what is being sold and whether or not the item is going to sell. Now, the next item is the third oldest item that I have in my inventory, and that is this DC Comics shirt. I picked this up for $2.99. Again, being very new at the time, this was also in October when I started reselling. You know, I'd been watching some resellers and I said, okay, it's got an all-over print, it's got a good-looking tag. I knew it wasn't really a vintage shirt, but, you know, it looked good, and I figured, hey, maybe somebody will want it. It's just a run-of-the-mill, you know, superhero shirt that's relatively recent. It's not going to sell for a lot of money. It's been sitting at this price again since October. We'll see what happens, but I'm not holding out hope that this item will sell or that I'll really even make a profit on it. So our next item here is this Sharper Image fan. So this was my first attempt at retail arbitrage. And if you don't know what that means I bought these at a retail store. This one happened to be Walmart on clearance or at a reduced price, believing that I could resell that item on a different platform for a profit. Now, this can be done with a lot of items. There's a lot of great resellers who do this at Dollar Tree, Walmart's, Target's, Costco's, everything. So this was my first attempt, and it hasn't gone well so far. I had these since the beginning of October. I bought 4 of them for $4 each, so I have $16 invested in these. And I found some that sold for around this $20 free shipping, but I wasn't paying attention to sell-through rate, meaning how many sold versus how many were listed. There's a lot of these listed, and also there's, what I can tell, are sponsored wholesalers that are selling this item. It's that item at the top of the list, and they have every color, every size, every shape. They're a wholesaler who has a listing up on eBay. So that shouldn't discourage everybody, but especially for this item, the market was flooded already and they weren't selling very well. So again, not the best buy on here, but if I wait long enough, they probably will sell. And the last item we're going to talk about here was a little bit of an impulse buy. Again, the biggest thing, my biggest lesson from all of this is looking up items, making sure I'm being picky. Again, I've talked about how picky I am as a reseller and when I'm out thrifting, and I broke that rule with these items here. This one is no different. It is a Hoegaarden beer pint glass. I like Hoegaarden beer. Kind of got to me on there. It was only $1.99. And I did look this up and I saw, hey, they were selling for about $10. And my brain went, $2 into $10 means I'm making 5 times my money. But when you're selling $1.99 for $10, it's not as good as selling a $10 item for $50. It just isn't. The time and return on investment is not the same, even though the ratio and profit margin percentage are. So that's another thing to keep on the lookout for, is depending on what works for your business model, picking up a lower price item, yes, to quintuple your money, may not be the best use of your time, but for others it might be. It's sitting in one of my kitchen cabinets right now. It's probably going to stay there, and realistically, when I'm done recording this, I'm probably going to take this listing off. So definitely some lessons learned here, and again, it was almost a blessing in disguise for me that I haven't sold anything, because it gave me some time to reflect and think about what I could have done better. You know, go back through my inventory. You know, one of the things I did is I checked how my pictures were. I made sure that my listing titles were good, that my descriptions were good, that everything was okay on my items. I didn't go as far as checking current sale comps for all of my items listed, but I don't know anybody that really has the time to do that for everything that they do. A lot of times when things aren't selling, the first thing you're going to look at is pictures, titles, and description. But it was a good exercise in self-reflection. As you can see, I had some areas in my inventory that needed some improvement, that I made some mistakes on, and that I probably shouldn't have bought in the first place. But that's okay. I'm learning through this process, and hopefully everybody's watching is learning as well. That's my goal with this channel, to share with you guys what I've learned, and maybe you take something from that, and maybe you don't, maybe you're just entertained, and if you are, I did my job. And that brings us to the end of the video. So if you watched all the way here, again, thank you so much. If you're not already subscribed, just hit that button right here, turn on those notifications so you can know when I release another video. And if you also made it to the end of the video, that deserves a like. You know it does. I would appreciate it so much. Again, thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch everybody in the next one.